because it was explained to us that the menorah did not have to come to the Parks and Rec Commission because it was approved by the first selectman. So we asked the Board of Selectmen to treat us the same way, just allow the menorah, and to the same extent the nativity scene to the menorah. The Board of Selectmen refused to even address it, just pushed it aside. We submitted a second request to the Board of Selectmen, I believe this was in September, asking to be placed on the Sherman Green, pretty much to be treated just as equally as the menorah. It appeared before the Board of Selectmen, I believe, on their October 1st meeting, and they didn't even, it went into executive session, no vote, no discussion, just ignored it, which is in effect a denial. I submitted an application to come before you because I believe it is within your jurisdiction to approve this. Our application is to be treated equally with the group that put up the menorah. Specifically, the town paid for the menorah out of town funds. We would like the town to pay for our nativity scene out of town funds. If additional funds beyond the menorah is necessary for, say, something like security, we'd be happy to make up the difference. To the extent that the Parks and Rec Commission now has a menorah on their public advertisements about the holiday event, we would actually like to be treated just the same. And this is consistent with not everyone's understanding. You cannot value and put one religious group above the other. And again, we're not looking for any favors. We just want to be treated equally.
Mr. Sargent, is it your request in front of us that we consider the nativity scene for the month of December on the town rent and that we pay for it? Because that is not on our agenda to consider.
I think it's my understanding that the application, and this is based on our communications today, that the application with respect to vigil on the Sherman Green is not on the Commission's agenda today.
I'm sorry, say that again?
That the application with respect to the Sherman Green is going to be determined administratively.
That's a separate, there's a separate item.
Sherman Green. Misunderstood.
I'm asking you,
yes.
Forget the Town Hall Green, that was the director's approval. That's already been Sherman Green. That was the director's approval. For the Town Hall Green,
yes.
What is your request tonight? That the nativity scene be allowed to be placed at the Town Hall Green for the month of December, or are you asking for the nativity scene to be placed on the Town Hall Green for the month of December and for us to authorize the payment of it?
The second, although
that is not on the agenda.
Yes, it is.
No, sir. It's
the exact same application. You can say no, and if you want, I'll stop talking and I have a written statement. If you don't want to take a vote and claim that it's not on the agenda, I appreciate all of your time, volunteers, and I'm willing to move on. If you're not taking it up because you think there's a different application, I'm not going to belabor the point. There's nothing changed in our application. It's the same applicant, the same location, the same time, the same duration, the same request, other than in the initial application, we just asked for the town to pay for it, and if the town didn't, we offered to put our own funds in. We now clarified that we don't want to put our funds in. We want to be treated exactly the same as the menorah. So,
but my understanding that clarification was made 3 hours ago.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It's the same.
It certainly matters. The agenda was, set 24 hours ago. If you want us to consider both of those, then we can postpone. But we are in a position here tonight to make a motion and potentially approve placing the nativity scene on the Town Hall Green for the month of December. That's what we're in a position to approve tonight. We cannot speak for the Board of Selectmen who made the decision to pay for the menorah. We can't make a decision for the Board of Selectmen to pay for the nativity scene. And we certainly can't opine on something that's not on our agenda. However, we are in a position to review and discuss and potentially approve the nativity scene. So if you want us to address that tonight, we are happy to address that tonight. If it's that plus authorizing and the payment of it, we're not in a position to discuss and make a motion to move on that tonight.
Thank you. I realize this is just a pretext. Nothing changed in our application with respect to the substantive request, which is on your application form and your regulations. To the extent that there may have been a variance, that happens all the time when people submit applications. It happens during public hearings. So if you want to take a vote, just on placing the nativity scene, that's great. If you don't want to take a vote with respect to the other request for relief, I can't make it. But I think it's a pretext to say that you can't decide something because I submitted a slight modification to the prayer for relief, not the substantive application. So I can't make you do anything, but I could put our request before you, and you can take up whatever you want.
Okay.
Thank you for your time and attention and being volunteers.
Anyone have any questions, or do we want to move right to a motion to approve this?
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I move to approve the September 22nd application to have the nativity scene placed on the town green for December 2025, provided the display will be purchased with private funds as indicated in the application.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
That's a mischaracterization of the application.
Second. Okay. Any further discussion? Okay. Anything from the public? Any comments you want to join in? Okay. All those in favor?
The motion doesn't refer to the relief we're asking for. Just to be clear, we wanted the town to pay for it. That's in our September 22nd application.
Okay. All those in favor of approving the motion that is on the floor? Jamie, are you there?
Yes, I approve.
Okay. So I'm sorry. Once again, okay. Those not in favor, denying? And abstaining. I'm sorry, I'm abstaining as well.
But you just add the statement to the minutes. No substitute agreement. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. All right. Next up, Jacqueline Page, representing the First Church Congregational Church. Request to hold a Juneteenth picnic on the Town Hall Green on Friday, June 19th, from 4 to 8 p.m.
Thank you for having me. I'm at 683 Fairfield Beach Road, Fairfield 06824. And I'm a member of First Church Congregational. We're doing this in conjunction with, which is the church that's right across the street from Town Hall, and we're doing this in conjunction with St. Paul's Episcopal, which is the church right on the town green, or right next to the town green, I guess. And we're also, the library and the museum are also interested in participating. I think if you remember 2 years ago, there was a fairly large Juneteenth celebration behind Burr Mansion. And we want to do something fairly similar to that, a little bit more of a picnic, which is why we need more space. We're hoping to have 4 food trucks, sort of a reduced event from the tree lighting. We don't want that many people, but we hope to have a good enough crowd that it'll be celebratory. We're copying a little bit New Canaan. We went to their Juneteenth celebration this year, and they've had it for a couple of years now, and they hold it on their green next to their museum and library. And it's a very nice event, lots of kids, families. It's a picnic from 4 to 8. And so we're asking for the use of town green for that event.
Anyone have any questions?
It's just a question regarding what the event is called.
Juneteenth celebration.
That's just it.
Right, that's the whole thing.
So the sponsorship doesn't come into the naming of it, or?
I taught when Bill Gerber was here. We had run it by him probably a year and a half ago, and he was very enthused about this being the town of Fairfield Juneteenth celebration. But in talking with the First Selectman's office this year, they didn't want to do that. So it's really just going to be the Juneteenth celebration on the town green is the plan. But it will be, we probably won't make a big deal about our sponsorship. It's more just an event that we want to have on the town green.
available?
Yep, it's available.
And we have lots of parking at the church, that we're planning on using the parking behind the First Church Congregational.
Did you get any feedback as to why Fairfield didn't want to attach their name to the event? Just as
No, I talked to Christine Brown, and she took it up with Christine, and it was just that they'd rather not have it be Town of Fairfield event. When we had talked to Bill was sort of like, yes, we're very enthused about it, but we won't do any work. So if you guys do all the work, then we're happy to call it Town of Fairfield. So
Yeah.
we offered that again, but there just wasn't any interest this time.
Okay. Any other questions? Someone would like to make a
I'll
motion?
make a motion.
Okay.
I'll second, Brian.
May I ask a question? Is part of the motion regarding the fee request, or is that something that's determined administratively?
Good catch. That is part of the request. We do have, as we were discussing earlier, a regular for-profit fee and a not-for-profit fee. The not-for-profit fee is $400, and we generally do not waive that. We do have a lot of not-for-profit organizations who are using different areas in town. So generally speaking, we do not, and I won't support that, but if anyone feels very strongly about it and wants to discuss it, we can.
So then what is the motion?
The motion is to approve the event
With the fee?
with the fee.
Okay, that's what I was just.
Yeah, I'm sorry. With the fee or without the fee?
With the fee.
The agenda item doesn't specifically.
It's always said in the email.
It's in the write-up. There's the hope and request. So yeah, if you want to amend, that would be clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll make a motion to amend the first motion to approve the request for Juneteenth celebration with the $400 fee.
I'll remain second, Brian.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Jamie. Okay,
Thank you.
you're all set. Thank you.
Have a good event.
I hope so. We'll see. See if we can get the food truck to come.
Okay, next up, doesn't look like Tom Sampson, so Jay Kinney is here for the Fairfield Rotary Club to request and hold the 2026 Power Fest on September 5, 2026 this year with a rain date of September 12th, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Take it away.
I don't think I have enough for everybody, but all right. Well, first of all, thank you for approving we had our 5th annual event. This was our best event ever in terms of funds raised.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, is the new one different from the last one, except for the date? Because there's not enough. I have the last one that you were.
It's different, but
I think we have. Okay.
we did $18,322 gross revenue, $10,676 net to CLASP, which, if anybody isn't familiar, CLASP is an organization that provides housing and programming for 85 special needs adults. So we're really proud of the financial results this year. We had a really good turnout, 121 people participating. Live music allowed a lot more people at the beach to enjoy the event. We had people come from Canada. There's 9 people come from Canada, Vermont, Maine, South Carolina. So I think it's a really good event for the town. People coming in from all over, staying over, using restaurants and hotels. Goals for this year, We'd like to hold the event on September 5th with a rain date of September 12th. We'd like the charitable proceeds to be goal-based. So, for example, something like Homes for the Brave needs a new HVAC system. That's something Rotary has supported in the past. It's a set project, a set financial goal. We can work towards that goal and have a tangible outcome and a measurable result for the town. We'd also like to rebrand the event from Paddle Fest to Jetty Jam. So I think we're limited by the success of the event if it's just geared towards paddle. So we'd like to make it more of an event that's on the beach, not just paddling in the water. We'd like to do basically the same thing in 2026 as we did this year. Brian, you mentioned on the way in that you wanted to have a conversation about a few things. I know we got some emails from Kelly about a couple things that could have gone better. So, yeah, happy to talk through that now, answering questions.
Okay, so first of all, the request a couple months ago was very specific that you're going to be selling beer.
Yes.
That isn't addressed in the application that I can see. It does, the application states alcoholic beverages. Is it your intent to sell beer like you did this previous one?
Yes.
Okay. So if we do move forward with the motion, if whomever is making the motion, if we can include that. So we are, you asked me why I initially wasn't in favor last time you were here.
Yep.
And I said that I worry about everything.
Yep.
And you made a very nice presentation, permits, everything was outlined where it was going to take place and everything else. And there was a promise that everything was going to be left clean afterwards. And we discussed the fact that the trucks shouldn't be on the beach.
Yep.
And it's my understanding that the trucks were on the beach.
There were no food trucks on the beach.
Okay, well then that brings us to an even bigger problem.
Yep.
Because I understand that there was a sauna truck there, and there was no approval for a sauna truck.
Okay, the sauna wasn't a truck. It's a portable sauna. This is a sponsor to the event. It wasn't the Paddle Fest truck. It was a trailer.
Okay.
The request was food trucks on the beach. The response was no food trucks on the beach. There were no food trucks on the beach. Okay. Anthony said they didn't want them to get stuck, to use town resources to get trucks off the beach. Nothing got stuck. I didn't drive anything on the beach. No Paddle Fest volunteers drove anybody on the beach, drove anything on the beach. There was a sponsor who had a cold plunge, which we had last year, and a mobile sauna. Okay. Not a truck. It was positioned on the beach with the Toyota 4Runner and then taken off the beach. It was there very early. We had a lot going on. The request for food trucks was denied. No food trucks were on the beach. Okay, so there were some sponsors that used vehicles to unload stuff. It happened quickly without permission. So one thing I wrote in the presentation this year, every sponsor will sign an agreement with specific instructions that no vehicles will be permitted on the beach. Okay? So this was, not something that was done intentional. There's no nefarious intent with this. It was people that were not volunteers. They were sponsors helping out at the event, and they drove on the beach.
I think we're dealing with semantics here.
Okay.
With the no food trucks on the beach, but we'll let the 4Runner and the trailer come on the beach. I think you probably understand our intent with the conversation with you.
Yeah.
Okay. And I also understand that the beer was left there, all the leftovers, and we had to lock it up in the shack.
So we were given access to the storage facility prior to the event through Kelly. We used it to put equipment there, which is very, very helpful. After the event, so basically the event wrapped up at 3:30. there were torrential downpours, if you remember that day in September. So it was a rush to get everything into the storage area. I flew to California for Ritholtz Wealth Management's conference the next day. It's called Future Proof. I was back Wednesday. By Thursday morning, everything was cleared out. So it was not left a mess. The beach was clean. There was one cornhole box left out accidentally. Again, the event was cleaned up very, very quickly. We're trying to get tents and stuff off the beach before severe thunderstorms came in, and we were successful in doing that. Nobody was injured. No property was damaged. The beach was clean, and the storage facility was cleaned out by Thursday.
So, I'll stop talking and let other people ask questions. But if we move forward with this approval for another, because, of course, we don't want to see Paddle Fest come to an end, whatever. We don't want Paddle Fest to end. We just want it. We want it to be run in accordance with what our understanding is. So our understanding is that there won't be food trucks, there won't be trucks on the beach, and everything will be, cleaned up afterwards. That's our understanding.
I will commit to you that every vendor, every sponsor will sign an agreement stating that no vehicles will be on the beach.
Any other questions?
Brian, my mistake. I didn't realize that Labor Day is late this year. The beach is still open. It would have to be the next two.
Okay. So when's
sorry.
Labor Day?
Labor Day is the 7th.
Okay, so that is an error on our part. This event should always be the Saturday after Labor Day. So if that's...
So do we want to go the 12th with the 19th as the rain date?
Yeah. Thank you, because I wouldn't have picked up on that.
Quick question: does this get advertised somewhere? Because you wrote that there were people that came from Vermont, Maine, Jersey, South Carolina, even Canada. How did they find out?
It's the paddleboard community, if you will. Since people travel for these races, there aren't a lot of them. So it's definitely advertised on the registration website. Is pretty popular. That's how people find out about it. And we do work hard to promote it, get the word out.
Curious why you're changing the name.
Because I think we've exhausted the level of financial success we're going to get from paddling. So we want it to be a paddleboard event, but also if you don't paddleboard, you can still come and listen to some music.
My staff and I are blown away. We love that name. We were just so jealous we didn't come up with it. Jetty Jam. So good. So good.
All right. Awesome. Thank you.
It could be so many things.
I know. Can be.
Any other questions? Jamie, anything?
No, sounds like a fun event, and sounds like we've just got some things to clean up and tidy up from in terms of requirements and understanding. So sounds pretty confident that will be taken care of.
Okay. Anyone want to make a motion, remembering that it's to include the sale of beer, and the dates are going to be the 12th with a rain date of the 19th.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I can second if you need one.
And you
I will make a motion that they will sell beer, and it will be on the 12th with the rain date of the 19th.
that we're going to approve the event as part of the motion.
I will make a motion to approve the event. I will also approve that they can sell beer at the event, and it will be held on September 12th with the rain date of September 19th.
Second.
Thank you, Jamie. But Jamie, I'm going to. I heard you, but Tim was already making. He was
okay.
making it.
Darn, I missed out again.
Any further discussion? All right, back to the commission. All those in favor?
I'm a Rotarian,
Aye.
right?
We had this conversation
Yeah.
2 months ago. And Jamie?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Okay, thank you very much, appreciate it.
You want your stock by any chance? Want to, Sharon?
Keep it.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so, let's see, gentlemen, from the Board of Ed report, is that next?
Yeah. So I feel like I owe Anthony a big apology and to the commission. We had things happen really quickly with Board of Ed, such that the timing of this meeting didn't let me prevent Anthony from being absolutely blindsided. August meeting I couldn't make. I also didn't know anything in August. And then in September, we had a special facilities meeting put onto our calendar that coincided with the commission's meeting. And thus, Anthony got to find out via a text from me that the Dwight project looked like it was moving ahead and wiping out at a minimum of 2 fields up in Dwight. And so Anthony got called before Board of Finance to then speak about that, and at least I texted him the day before. But I did feel badly that I didn't have the chance to let the commission know. I honestly didn't realize how quickly that this project was going to move forward. We got a report for Board of Ed at the end of August. We had our discussions in September. Somehow I thought the Board of Finance wouldn't be picking this up for actual votes. I think our usual capital project schedule would put this at early in November. So, again, it's my apologies as I now officially tell you that with the work with the capital projects and the waterfall, that the Dwight plan, and I know it's last vote up is for RTM, is for the recommendation of the new Dwight complete rebuild, which is going to be the current Dwight footprint is going to become a parking lot. This is going to be put kind of into the side of the hill so that there are 2 entrances, one on top of the hill and then one below, kind of making use of the terrace. So it's not completely moving on top of the hill. There will be some field space left, but it's definitely taking out, I think, the adults.
We lose the whole softball field, it's gone, and we lose the full-size soccer field, so we'll be left, I think, the 9v9 small-sided soccer field space.
Yeah.
So it's a new facility.
Brand new.
So while construction is going on, the old facility will still be in use?
Correct. Correct. So in any case, I would have liked to have let the commission know that before other town bodies are voting on it, and you would have heard about it that way. So, and again, especially saying publicly, my apologies to Anthony that that's how he had to find out, but apparently at no point in this process was Anthony consulted with in any capacity.
At all.
Who made the decision to remove field? I mean, they know the constraints we have with fields in this.
Absolutely. So what happened is when I'm trying to say the condensed version, but obviously ask questions at any point for me to expand. So the Board of Ed Facilities Commission last spring, so we're talking 2024, put forward the recommendation for a brand new Dwight with 5 ECC classrooms. Their recommendation was just to take the building and put the box on top of the hill, so they were already proposing the field to be taken out. I don't even know if they would have had a 9v9 left with that recommendation. Some board members protested, then Bill Gerber and Lori Charlton both said, where is the financial analysis that this is the only plan you can do? This is the part I'm condensing. So ultimately, Bill Gerber convened a working group, which apparently very, very well-respected company, Spigal, in the state of Connecticut, to do an examination of 11 to 12 different sites in town, looking at Giant Steps, looking at Mona Terrace, looking at other possibilities for other school construction projects to get good numbers. And the board put forward some ed specs for what we wanted to be contained in the building, but that's all we said. We didn't say anything about location. And so ultimately what they did in their report, which they spent the whole year on, and which did not get reported to us officially till the end of August, they gave A through F. So they gave us 6 different possibilities, just contained within the Dwight site, a few versions of the current Dwight site with a few other areas for expansion, moving it up onto the hill in part or larger. And so all of these 6 different versions. So that was them being given ed specs, and they created the plan from there. We had not stipulated as part of this, you must put on top of the hill. In fact, some of the plans that Bill Gerber required involved staying in the current footprint. But the board voted to not support any of those and to support the full new bill.
So here we are, $76 million later, now to go before the RTM. So the one thing that I was able to hopefully push on them is the Giant Steps property to replace those fields that we're losing.
And?
Well, they seem supportive of it, but again, now you're probably talking another $10 million that I'll have to go for soon. And those were supposed to be fields in addition to our inventory, not replacement fields. So,
And how long would that take?
well, I don't. Hopefully not 10 years, but it's going to depend because we have conservation limitations right now.
Assuming we got the approval.
Oh, if we followed the same timeline as them, yeah, we're probably 2 years away, I would think.
So if we approved it tomorrow, still 2 years, obviously.
That would be my guess. Again, just based on how long it just took us to do the Ludlow field. So.
And would the recommendation be turf?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Would light?
I'm always pushing lights, but the bigger issue we have there is it's conservation land that abuts it. So we would need to have them agree to give us some of that land, and they made it very clear at Dwight they're not giving us any land because we have a lot of land next to Dwight, and conservation director said no, not a chance.
How many acres in there, Dwight?
Oh God, I bet
Well, they're
you
looking to put a road.
they want to put an access road.
Yeah.
Well, we're not doing a Giant Step.
Or a Giant Step.
No, at Dwight,
Yeah.
there's got to be another 40 acres next to Dwight.
Okay.
And
So it's not that
they were
much
like-
more than Giant Step.
correct.
And we'd like to put a road in on the backside of that Giant Step.
Yep. Yep. I think we have the same uphill battle with conservation.
So the current plan is to have ECC at Dwight, brand new $76 million bill.
Gets better than that though, because then they're going to vote on Jennings and putting ECC classrooms there, and we're going to lose that field.
Oh, there's one option for that, which that one we haven't.
They haven't decided, but that's what's on the table.
Right in the parking lot.
They,
No big deal.
I found that one out at the same time. So.
I've been advocating for the field. I didn't get a lot of support.
Can I ask you, are they,
I'm not supposed to do that, by the way. I'm really here to represent the majority vote of the board. I just feel the need to say, because I'm feeling defensive, that I'm not happy about it either.
are they still on planned it for a board? They're
So
turfing in
that's
March?
the other that I can talk about, so that we did put onto for our capital and the non-recurring projects to bring forward. The board did unanimously support, again, because we voted on this last year, to bring forward that Ward turf field. We supported that along with several other projects. We have a safety vestibule project. We had some paving at Roger Ludlow and Fairfield Ludlow. And then we had some bathroom projects at Fairfield Woods Middle School in addition. And so instead of doing them as one, the Board of Selectmen seems to be taking them up most expensive, least expensive at one at a time. So I'm listening a bit today, and I didn't get to the vote. So I'm kind of assuming that all the safety vestibules in the elementary schools happened. I don't know if that's going to have any impact on summer camps because I don't know anything more about that project yet. But we have, again, so right now we've approved it to move forward, but we need the Board of Selectmen to pick it up.
Board football still without lights?
No, license that. Yeah, I think they got them just in time for the first home game.
They did.
Yeah, they did.
They didn't have to reschedule anything with that, which is excellent.
They're
So,
nice too.
Better than the old one?
Yeah, they flash.
They just need to do something with the PA system.
Yeah,
because,
PA
oh
system.
my God.
Terrible.
really?
Oh, you can't even hear it. It's like someone was blasting as loud as they can. It's
It's
horrible.
really bad.
Yeah.
Really noted.
Yeah.
Bring it back. Makes sense. Yeah.
Thank you. All right, and the director program, there's just the one approval. The
one approval.
activity on the Sherman Green from the 23rd to 25th, fully manned the entire time.
Staff-wise, department-wise, we just made an offer for a brand new position, a full-time youth services social worker, which will help expand our youth services bureau. So I actually had a meeting today with Maureen Sullivan from the central office and Mike Testani in the police department and their staff to talk about where the overlap is with services that each one of us is providing as far as mental health and resources and things of that nature go. So it was a great meeting. Really excited to have this woman come on board starting November 3rd. She'll be stationed down at Bigelow, but she'll be working with Gianna from my office here, a couple people in some other offices. But definitely be making the tour of all the PTAs very soon. So yeah, we're really excited about that. Other than that, we are in the middle of planning all our, finalizing all our winter programs, tree lighting, things of that nature, and then gearing up already for the spring and summer camp, which will be in February registration. But we're going to have to figure out from Angelus which sites he's going to be taking offline, and might have to make some other.
The vestibule projects are very small.
Yeah.
They're right there at those front entrances, but I don't.
Yeah, so we'll follow up with Angelus and find out where we are, what he's thinking. So I know he's still doing HVAC projects too, so there'll be stuff that's not available.
Can I ask you to describe the position a little bit, because that's definitely something I'd love to bring back.
Yeah, so this is the person primarily be working with social services and Jessica Bloomberg, the police social worker, heading up, co-chairing our used to be called Juvenile Review Board, which is now the Youth Diversion Team. The state changed the name, so that's what we are now is YDT. But those are the kids, any kid that gets into trouble with the law goes through this process versus the court system. Again, depending on the severity of the crime. Sometimes they'll get community service, sometimes they'll get involved in programs, sometimes they become a mentor. There's all different, every case is obviously individualized. But there's a board that does that, but Jessica and this new position head that up. Any follow-ups the schools need, their social workers are getting inundated with different families that have a lot of pressing needs that maybe they can't hold the family's hand to get them to that resource. They can point them in the right direction, but then maybe they don't have the time to follow up. So we're hoping that the school social workers will be able to push some of those cases or refer some of those cases with those families to our social services department, specifically our social worker, the youth social worker, who will then be able to work with those families one-on-one and get them to the whatever referral they need, and hopefully it's not a repeat case. That's the goal. But she'll be handling all kinds of things like that, helping with our mental health series that Gianna and Felicity Ellis have been working on. She'll be heading up the curriculum. We're creating a curriculum group that'll feature police department, public schools, community services, Parks and Rec, the library, the health department. What we found is there's a lot of overlap in services that are being offered. For example, the schools just did a nice program on digital safety or AI. So did we a week ago. So did the library 2 weeks ago. So it seemed like these three very similar programs all just happened because, again, everybody's trying to do really good programming, but they're kind of working in silos. We're all working towards the same goal, but nobody's really bringing these groups together to say, so anyway, the curriculum group that she'll be heading up will basically sit down in January and say, okay, library, what are you planning for the next 6 months? Parks and Rec, what are you planning? Health, schools? And hopefully we can then, okay, if you're already doing that program, we're not doing that program. We're going to do your program in February. We're going to have another one in March, and kind of spread them out throughout the year and and then cross-promote them amongst all those different places with the same message. So again, if our mailing list in Parks and Rec is about 30,000 people, but you might not be looking for mental health from Parks and Rec in our Parks and Rec email, but you may have been looking for it in, the school's, backpack or whatever, peach jar, whatever heck it's called now. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, what she'll be doing.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. And then Fairfield Cares, we're tying all that into. That's the next step to this. So. Yeah, that's the big stuff.
Any other questions? Hearing none, Chair, adjourned.
Thanks, Jamie.
See you guys. Be good.